Hi, everyone, and welcome. I stumbled on these cards when I was doing some more spring cleaning the other day, and it took me a while to find out what I had printed them from and what they were connected to. And it turns out it's for this really fascinating book, A Grimoire of the Thorn-Blooded Witch. Now, this came out in 2014. I don't remember where I got it or whether it was used even when I got it, but it's by Raven Grimassi. And I'll just show you a little picture of him at the back to help sort of establish who I'm talking about. Okay, so here is the author. He's no longer with us, but Raven Grimassi is a neo-pagan scholar and award-winning author of over 17 books on witchcraft, and it goes on and on. But this is the only book I have with his work in it, and I'm on my second or third pass through it. I never let it go out of my collection because it was just so fascinating. Now, the idea is that there are, I believe, 17 main plants that you connect to through the Thorn-Blooded Witch. And the first, these ones here are very important. The hawthorn, the blackthorn, and the rose. Now, if I try to explain it, hopefully it'll make sense in that we're connecting to the old witchery, in that you try to reconnect with information about the plants that have been stored within the memories of earth and within the plants. So it's understanding and exploring that witchcraft in the old manner. Now, it is based on the rose, and this is not a fresh rose, no, but it's all I had to sort of talk about the fact that the thorns are for protection, initiation, enlightenment, and that magical barrier that we have to have the courage to break through. Now, the rose itself, they talk about that as the ladder to learning, and the rose petals would be the enlightenment. So we'll set that aside for a second, and we'll just draw forth some information in little bits to hopefully make it interesting and exciting for you. So I will show the cards after, but there are 17 primary plant energies that we get to tap into with instructions in the booklet here. It talks about, for centuries, the intimate link to witchcraft and myth, lore, and legend with the plants. Some of the plants, yes, have a sort of reputation as being very dangerous. So he shows us how to connect with the plants in a safe manner, whether it's through the visualization of the cards or through sitting with plants and trying to connect to that old spiritual energy. Okay. So he talks about the three main ones, blackthorn being one of them, that guards the mysteries. And here you can see the spirit of the blackthorn. It's got the pronunciation there for the words, and it's to bring raw power and tapping into that raw plant power. And it says that this appears in the form of a human male with plant features and can be invoked on a Monday or Tuesday at the beginning of an odd hour. Now, there are all kinds of symbolism here, and I put the enchantments on the back. So these are just very inexpensive cards, invitations that I found, and just reworked them so that I too could follow along in the book and understand a little bit of what he was talking about with these. So the blackthorn guards the mysteries. The hawthorn will challenge your dedication. And the rose thorn is the portal and opening to all things. And when he talks about the rose and his initiation, absolutely fascinating. Let me find it. Okay, so he did purchase a rose bush to begin the connection of the she of the thorn-blooded rose, but he sets up a blood covenant. So this binds the human with the plant and establishes that she of the thorn-blooded rose as an ally, and it's through her that you meet and create relationships with all the other plants. And the blood covenant begins with an exchange of red blood for the green blood of the plant. Now, how does he do this? Okay, really strange, but he pricked his finger, squeezed 3 drops of blood into a small container of water, and poured that mixture onto the base of the rose bush. And the covenant is completed by, in your mind, drinking of the essence of that plant. Now, he happened to use liquid chlorophyll. Don't suggest it. Do your research. I don't think we need to go crazy here. But he, in his mind, thought that was a way of connecting with the green blood, the green essence of the plant, and he took that within himself. And there's a little bit of a paragraph here that is, blood to blood make kindred one. Beneath the moon, beneath the sun, plant and flesh, spirit and soul, bound to ways that make us whole. So it really does draw us back to the older methods of connecting with the plants and letting them instruct us on all that they can do. So she of the thorn-blooded rose, you go into the shadow deep and you awaken the red lady from her slumber and sleep. You open the passage to where all is hidden in the green and take the secret world that lies in between. There are all kinds of symbols that he suggests, and following along and working with some of the symbols underneath your pillow, working with the power of the planets. It is just fascinating. So let's go through a few more of the cards. So there is the spirit of the rose. That one was the hemlock. A spirit of redemption, often appearing as a human male figure, evoked on a Saturday at the beginning of even hour of the day. Now, it is handy to have these on the back that you could sit with this imagery and really try to tap in the way that he did. And yes, a lot of these plants are poisonous, so you wouldn't even want to handle them. But if you could find some good images, if these didn't work for you, that would be beneficial. But the birch tree, yes, you can work with the birch. Hellebore, I used to have hellebores in my front garden. Wolfbane. So again, you get your pronunciation, and this one is serving to banish anything unwanted, particularly enemies and predators. Aconite. That's the mandrake, the male and female. Henbane. Rowan. So it will protect you against enchantments. Might appear as a human female, evoked on a Tuesday. Foxglove. Lots of people have foxglove in their garden, including me. Some people suggest even holding or being very careful and wearing gloves around that plant. I have never had an issue. Walnut. To bring people in contact with what they need at the time. Willow. Usually in the form of a human female, evoked on a Monday or Thursday. And then if we looked on the back, you can see, as they say, the enchantment. And it gives you a lot more information in the book as to candles that can be used, incense, and that one is vervain. Followed by rue. For me, highly toxic. Can't touch it. Then what is also included are the pentacles for the planets. And there's a lot of symbols in here which you can find with descriptions in the back. So everything is laid out for you. And that is what you're seeing there. And I often see pentacles with all kinds of symbols, and I don't know what the symbols mean. So now this helps. And here he goes into light 3 orange candles during the process and some cloves. And you're going to learn how to bless your cauldron, bless your ring if you have a magical ring, your wand. There's a whole process on all of that. So that one is Jupiter. There is our moon one. Good for psychic matters, dream control, summoning and directing lunar forces of magic. Some of his magic in here is just phenomenal. There is Mars, Saturn, and Mercury. And let me find some more info. There is even passages in here for honoring, the spring tide, the vernal equinox. You've got February Eve, there's Yule, there's all kinds. There's your wintertide Yule and the ritual that goes along with that. So one candle to represent the presence of the divine feminine. Oh, and one other one for the masculine. Choosing your incense to go along with it and creating that space and doing your offerings. Really, really fascinating. There is another section on drawing, get it in focus, drawing the moon down and the ritual for that. That which in the sky is seen above, below, and in between. Light and earth, the two I wed, they are one, where now I tread. And you have a dark moon right and some symbols that you can tap into for that. Gives the candles you will need and your glyphs down below. Now there's another section here, and I really have to read it all again because it is just so much to take in. There's the 7 sisters. Fabulous. Now here's where I'm talking about the blessing. So there's your mortar and pestle and how to bring it to the table to call on the greenwood spirits and what to do on how to bless it. So without going crazy here, you really, if you enjoy finding an old grimoire and learning about the old ways of witchery and connecting with the planets as well as the plants and diving into that, this is a book that I think will keep you entertained for quite some time. And I don't think it's a book that you can understand on your first pass through. It is pretty in depth. So I just wanted to bring that to the table, see if anyone had read it. Do you have a way of connecting with the plant energy? Do you have that bond with the plants? Can you hear them? Do you hear their messages? Let me know and have a great time searching through some of your grimoires for the spells that move you forward on different days of the weeks with different planets and do let me know what works for you.